Okay, now we're back for the third and final time. We've done the top worst skins in 2025 and the top most missed potential skins. So now we're back for the final, the best skins of 2025. And usually I enjoy this one the most because I talk about the good stuff from the game that I play. And as usual, we have the honorable mentions. This year has been particularly interesting because usually when I do these top 10 rankings, I like to make sure I don't double dip into certain skins. So sometimes a certain skin line will come out and 2 or 3 of them will be absolutely incredible, but then they occupy so much of the list. This time's weird because of the variety skins. There's been a lot of skins this year that are just completely disconnected from everything else, operating on their own independent skin line, even if it's an already established one. But I tried, I don't want to do all variety because, let's be honest, most of the variety skins this year were absolutely bangers. And that's why I kind of want to start with my honorable mention, which is Biko, which might shock you. That's not number 1 because you guys know me. I like the bees, and Biko is wonderful. I just think Biko is not the pinnacle of bee skins. She's kind of like a good mashup of a lot of best elements from a lot of bee skins, and I absolutely adore it, but it's not anything groundbreaking. This is lovely. I like this. I will fully accept it. I will obviously be using it because I love it. And that segues into it because I have a very similar feeling about other honorable mention, which is Elderwood Alistar. He gets a special bump though because he got an absolutely atrocious skin this year. So this feels a lot like a redemption. And Elderwood, we don't get them very often anymore. And to be honest, at the Mac, it's been explored about as much as you can. This one doesn't have a lot of things that differentiate overly too much from stuff like Elderwood Hecarim, say, but it is a perfect fit for Alistar. He very rarely gets to be this gentle giant that he is in his actual nature. That's the whole thing with the Minotaurs, right? They're actually really kind people. They like to fight, but this one just lets Alistar be a protector. And it's nice to see the mesh of all the stone and the wood and the antlers with the tree vines. It's a fun way to have his anatomy, make him look like a big stone structure. It's really well executed. It's one of those skins that it's not anything groundbreaking, but it is wonderful representation of what this skin line is as a whole and a great fit for the character. Now for another honorable mention, I think some people might not agree with, but it's one that again, I think the character is just a perfect fit for it. But I think after the changes, it's not perfect still, but I do really like the idea of Black Rose Renata. This is a region swap skin that actually does fit in the canon universe perfectly. If you're gonna have any champion join the Black Rose, of course it's gonna be the slimy, power-hungry businesswoman that's poisoning everybody for her own benefit and her own profit. Of course she would take a deal from them to just expand her reach further and then give her new upgrades and augments. Like, so much better. Of all the characters, it makes perfect sense for her. It doesn't have a unique recall, but they did go back to change some things. Remember the old version? That's what it was. You can see the difference, right? I think it is way better at the change. It doesn't just look like a chroma of Renata. They put a bit more effort into it, and I love Renata being in this skin line. If you're gonna make these region swaps canon, she's wonderful for it. So I ended up really liking this skin in the end. The next one, I can't physically put this any higher. My brain won't let me because it does make me uncomfortable because it's especially not my vibe, but I cannot deny, I cannot believe they had the balls to do this. I'm actually flabbergasted that they did this. Never in a million years did I think, like, they're doing all these fan servicey stuff. I never thought they'd actually go this route, ever. I kind of have to applaud them for that. And I know a lot of people were made very happy by this. I think turning him into a Tanuki is also no accident, and it makes me feel even more uncomfortable. Because this is also one of my favorite champions. I love Volibear. I don't particularly want to view Volibear that way. But, you know, to each their own. You like what you like, man. Good on you. Not for me, but I will applaud the production value. Final honorable mention I want to say is Stargazer Vex. Mostly because it is a Wild Rift port, but not just a direct one-to-one. They actually went through the extra effort to add more details to the model, make an entirely new splash art when they didn't need to. Vex needed a new skin. It's not my favorite of hers on Wild Rift, but the fact that it is a Wild Rift skin, I really hope that they just keep doing more like this. They just add more skins from Wild Rift. Fan favorites, that is, I mean. They don't have to do everything. But I would really like if they just did more Wild Rift skins. I do applaud this, especially at the time when this came out, actually. This was right off the heels of stuff like Mythmaker Jin, you know, where we just saw corners being cut everywhere. Breath of fresh air. Wonderful. Really liked it. Down to number 10. I don't have a defense for number 10 because I don't want him to be here because it pisses me off. I hate that he keeps getting good skins, and I hate that it's actually a banger skin in a skin that sucks in almost every other regard. Out of Mass Justice, Yone actually kicks ass. If you're gonna go the Super Sentai route, this is the best one. And you know how I feel about I have a wacko conspiracy theory with this one. It is really strange to me that Senna and Lucian just use their default face rigs for their recalls, and that Yone, one, he's the team leader, and he has all these crazy extra visual effects on everything. The speed lines, what they did with his E, all that stuff. Like, he has considerably higher production quality than the other Mass Justice skins. And then I look at Jarvan and Karma, who for some reason, even though on that big portrait art, the Mass Justice characters together, they don't include Aatrox or GP there, even though they're technically part of Mass Justice. They have this whole lineup. My conspiracy theory is the entirety of Mass Justice was supposed to be TFT exclusive, and then someone was like, we could make this into a real skin, but they didn't have the time, and they prioritized Yone first because it's Yone and because he's the 5 cost. So of course he had to look the flashiest. And then we get down the pipeline. We have the highest priority, and then we have Senna and Lucian, where they got mostly finished, but they couldn't finish them entirely. And then you have Karma and J4, which they didn't even really start on getting into in the first place. That's the vibes I get for it, because it's just bizarre how much better Yone is than the others. And he just fits the skin line perfectly. And it gives him his mask. He never gets the mask in anything. And he got a full one this time. They always omit it from every skin he gets. So I'm super happy that they brought it back for this one. Mass Justice, I don't give it a This one's cool. And it pisses me off because I hate that Yone keeps getting good skins because I hate him. Number 9. Shockingly, from this year, it's a legendary skin. But you know, we had a lot of bad legendaries this year, but at least we could go out with a genuinely good one. This is great. I really, really like Winter Wonder Zeri. I don't even really like Zeri all that much playing anyways. And I always found it strange that she skates across the ground. Give her actual skates. It's great. It fits her perfectly. That's a double meaning because the fit also works. Because how many times have we had this criticism, oh, these winter themed skins, Zeri, you're not gonna stay warm at all like that. They never know what to do with the jacket either. But it works here because these kind of elaborate skin showing dresses and having this big performative overcoat, well, she's a performative figure skater. Have you seen the kind of stuff that they wear? It works perfectly. It's completely natural. It's a great use of her base themes and her base character concepts and key distinguishing features put into a skin line that's just wonderful fit for her. The only marks I have against it is there is still, unfortunately, a few reused animations, which is a shame. But for the most part, they're all unique animations and they look really nice. And the gun, criticism I have with Zeri is they never know what to do with the gun. A snowball gun would have been cool, I think, would have been fine, like a little harmless toy, but that looks like it's supposed to actually do damage, and that's a little strange. But still, I think it is fantastic. Number 8, another character that I hate. But also one that, for a skin line I don't even like that much. I cannot lie. That just works. Like the snooty popular bully, like, of course. That's just like, duh. I cannot stand this character, I'm sorry. Hyper arrogance without a hint of sarcasm, not my cup of tea at all. I find it irritating, but that's why it works. That's why it works here. That's why it's a perfect fit here, because she is supposed to be like the absolute jerk. She's super popular, but no one knows why. But she just is, because she's very pretty, and she has all these expensive things. She has this super expensive equipment, an expensive bike. Battle Academia has a lot of problems, I think, with a lot of the skin coloring. Leona, biggest offense. Her colors are all over the place. This one, nice and clean. We're keeping it to this nice magenta, this white, and this dark purple. Perfect. Kiara's just kind of an ass, but she revels in it. She revels in being that popular kid. She's a mean girl. Thank you. That's the term I was looking for. I think it's great setting for her and a great fit for her. I think it's great. Complete tonal shift. Absolutely pleasantly surprised about Mr. Mori, High Noon Yorick. Gave him his hat back.
Oh, tasty.
And it was kind of fun that everyone always memes about Maiden being his wife when it's clearly not. In this universe, it is. But Maiden is just the ghost of his wife. And the thing he carries on his back, that's her coffin. He carries her with him everywhere he goes. It's awesome. And it's cool too because it's a grave digger, which he barely ever is in any of his skins. But it doesn't feel like it's intruding on his original theme, you know? He still gets to retain his old identity without it feeling like it's just fresh coat of paint on the old one. It feels like its own distinct version of Yorick. It's great. You got Maiden up here. And of course, they integrate him into part of the story with Gragas. There's Yone down there. And all his ghouls are little guns. Fantastic. Okay, listen, I know a lot of these have been variety already. I know, and I said I wasn't gonna double dip much, but like, how could I not, man? How could I not? Like, Bowling League Lilia is just wonderful. Of course, she's a bowling ball. That's like your whole thing. She's the E. And it's never not funny to put an animal in shoes. And the sound design on this one goes a mile. All the sound effects that she has when she hits something with the E, when she clubs someone with the W. But the idea that like she's just so small and dainty and she's throwing around this bowling ball like it's nothing. It just works on so many levels. The fact she's got just wields her trophy basically. It's so funny. And the big socks too. I still think it would have been funnier if they gave her pants instead of a skirt. Like that, you get skirt, right? But pants or pants. Personally, I think it's funnier if she's wearing pants than a skirt. It's cursed. That's the point. It's supposed to be funny. This one feels highly illogical to do it this way. Or this. This is the third option. I don't think they go with that option, though. It's the great debate. What is the better way for a horse to wear pants? Well, then Dumbs wouldn't bud. I don't care. Number 5. And I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me on this one, but it gives me vibes of Zoshia a lot, where the design is cool on the surface, but the more you think about it and the more you look into it, the more I like it. And for me, that is Visions of the Fallen Jarvan. I think the major mark against this is the random fractal glass patterning that they put on the shoulders because it has to be a prestige skin. But holy sh! If you're gonna do a darkened skin that's not of the any corrupted ascendant, holy moly, man. And you made Jarvan look cool. The fact that it's Jarvan fused with Galio. He's got the wings, he's got the crown, the darken fusing to him. It has elements of Petricite, and not even the fact that it's Petricite. It's patterned more like wood. It's patterned like it's the original primal version of Petricite. It's visually mashing together the symbols of past and present Demacia, like the symbol of their king, the symbol of their ideals in Galio. The Darken are taking the symbols of Demacia and meshing them together, warping them into something horrible, even though Jarvan's not really the best person. And I won't name the horrible group, but it gives me vibes of what happens. We see it in our own history when symbols of hope and freedom are warped by some invading force to mean something completely different and awful. Hopefully you see my analogy without having to say it out loud. But you know, it's not like Demacia isn't familiar with that subject matter anyway. So I think this is wonderful. It's a dark skin that actually makes me think about it. And it made me want to see more like it. Compared to Trin and Garen, night and day difference. He still has the crown, but it's Galio's crown. The wings are mimicking the place of his stupid ass shoulder spikes. Like, they used Jarvan's stupid armor design to its advantage to make it look more intimidating and make it look more like Galio's. Wonderful. I love this. Purple Dark and Garen, yeah, it's a little, it helps, even though it's a hypothetical what if. Like, of course this would be the one to make Jin Zhao scared, right? Because that he's basically like an uncle to him. All right, number 4.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
I know that people are gonna think I picked the wrong one, but I could go either way. There's just one I like slightly more. I already talked about how much I love Flora Fatalis and the missed potential. I think by the end of it, I ever so slightly lean towards liking Lissandra more. And that's mainly because the Fiddlesticks model doesn't quite live up to what the splash art offers. I think the design of Fiddle is better than Lissandra. It's just not executed as well in game. But that's also because they are both fantastic in their own ways. You have this kind of stage of progression of the fungal infection, right? Where Soraka is kind of right at the start, Lissandra is kind of in the middle, and Fiddlesticks, that's barely even human anymore. I think it works really well here because while Fiddlesticks is a fun way to use his anatomy to show that, Lissandra uses the idea of this horrible creature. It's like Jarvan, where her anatomy, the way her model is set up, is used to sell that. Her legs have fused together. Her spindly arms, they're twisting and contorting apart. Her face has just bloomed apart into this giant flower. That's not where her helmet was. That's just where her head is like now. It's such a creative way to use that silhouette while still making it look like that is not natural. And you don't have to break any part her to make it look proper. That's why Soraka didn't really come together as well for me, because it just looks like she's wearing clothes. Lysandra, that looks like she's actually been turned into some plant monster, but is still human enough that you can kind of recognize that was once a human being. And I think that is just wonderful. I think Flora Fatales is awesome. I can't wait if they ever revisit it in the future. But I knew you guys would agree with me, see? But this is good. This is why you guys can respectfully disagree with me and provide your own reasonings why. I'm so proud of this community. Except for the guy who's gonna dislike the video because I said that, Jeremy from Minnesota, age 16.
Why did
NickyBoi.
you just dox me?
I know you felt that way about it. How dare you? Okay, number 3. You may have noticed there hasn't been a single April Fool's, and they were all technically one skin line, so I couldn't really double dip. Variety had that more leeway where they released at different times, but I had to pick one April Fool's skin. It was a tough toss-up for second place, because, I'm sorry. The Fury is great. Braum is great. They're all great. But you can't beat the Janna Turgot. You can't do it. I think what I love about this one is there is absolutely zero shame. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you get a joke skin where they kind of toy around with the idea, but they don't really commit to it fully. They're just like, oh, what if we kind of did this? They fully committed. The fact that he's sitting out of the giant toilet, all his legs are plungers, all his hooks are all just toilet paper. He has a big spray gun with the disinfectant on it. Why did they just gave him the little bald shine in the splash? They didn't need to do that. Like, it is amazing. They committed to the bit so hard, and the fact that when you have the home guard and he runs around and makes the squeaky sound that the plungers make, just incredible. And it's especially commendable because Urgot has so many jokey skins already. It feels weird for a character who's supposed to be so serious. I'm gonna destroy everything. No more tyrants, no more rulers. We're gonna take only the strong survive. And then he gets like a cosplayer Oogie Boogie Man janitor, and that's also pairing him with Thresh is also, that's just funny to have the two together. Number 2. I mean, come on, guys, come on. You know his Great Shepherd was gonna be on here, and Tristana is just getting better and better. Oh my god. And Gwen is great too, but Tristana, it's the same version of Melio, where Melio is just the perfect character to embody this kind of childlike wonder. Because that's what I get from Rain Shepherd. Rain Shepherd is like the skin when you were a kid and just going out, playing in the rain with the boots and looking at all the animals, the frogs and the birds and the worms and stuff, and just having fun being outside in the rain. And that's Melio, and now Tristana especially as well. Her cannon is just an umbrella with a frog on top of it. She's just playing pretend, you know? Oh, it's so fun. It's so clever and just so cute. I love it so much. And I love the fact, even though it hurts, there's so many Rain Shepherd skins I want. I do actually incredibly appreciate we've only gotten 2 at a time. I think if they started to do a whole big patch of 6 Rain Shepherds, they wouldn't know what to do. They just wouldn't be special anymore. It'd be like Project, you know? They just throw in a bunch just because they can, because people like the aesthetic. I think the fact that they have been able to do a small sample at any given time means they're able to really hone their craft and make each one as special as they can be. Rain Shepherd Graves, that's what I'm talking about, dude. That begs the question, though. This is number 2. What could possibly be number 1? And I knew it was going to be from the very start. It's Biko again. I would never do a fake out like that for you guys. Never, ever would I do here's my fake out number 1. Pengu Garrett is not actually my number 1 pick, but Riot Games cannot let this opportunity slip through your fingers. It's so stupid that it's incredible. It's just Pengu with Garen's hair, his scarf, and his sword. The splash art isn't even what the skin looks like. It is so stupid, and that's why it's amazing. I would easily buy some silly, stupid stuff. Easily. But I didn't put in Miss Potential because this technically did happen, but it also didn't. I have an actual number 1 though. And Rain Shepherd almost took it from it. I'd never do a double fake out. No, I'm just kidding. My actual number 1 is serious. My actual number 1 skin of the year, Glorious. From being the champion with the worst skin of last year, the best skin of this year. And I think what I love about this is how much care and detail went into this. What we got at the start, I would have been satisfied with. Because I'm old as shit. I was around when Trundle got the skin. He got traditional Trundle. And all that was they just warped the character design to look like the old one on the new model. And they gave him the old voice lines. That's all I want from traditional skins, really. It's just a pseudo-playable time capsule. It's like, oh, it's kind of the facade of what if the new version of the character kind of looked like with the old one. But then this one, one, they just went above and beyond. Like, they altered the model to make it more anatomically accurate to the old Victor. They went back to change it to make sure he had the appropriate number of fingers. They gave him entirely new animations to mimic that of the old Victor, not just reusing the old ones, just like making them new from scratch. The fact that it's a legacy skin traditional that got chromas on top of it, and they gave it away for free to the real Victor players. When they announced it, the cutoff date had already happened. So these fake ass Victor people who complained about the rework nonstop, like, I love the old design so much more. You didn't even play Victor. You didn't even play him, and you're complaining about it. You don't care. You just want to complain because you hate Arcane. I get there's reasons to not like it, but still, the actual people who like Victor and played him before the rework and missed the old aesthetic gets this version for free, and there's always extra little bits and bobs. They made a whole new splash art. They didn't need to do that. They could just use the base version. That would have been easy. They could have gone the easy route. And how it came out so much later after, like, this came out almost a full year after season 2. So this was something that just they decided, you know what, we should do this. And my sincere hope is that for how much this skin has been praised, and I hope it was successful, even though a bunch of people got it for free, that a lot of people did buy it, because it is an awesome skin. I really hope this shows right that we do want visual updates, absolutely, but there is always that nostalgic tie. I love new Skarner, but I will always miss the old one. And something like this is the perfect middle ground. It's a way to reward those players who played the character beforehand, to show their time and dedication that they got something for free, and as a way to have a playable time capsule of that old version while still allowing the character to be modernized. And I hope that this is gonna be something that they don't just do retroactively, though I would hope they do something retroactively, but also something they do going forward, like Shyvana. I'm sure Shyvana is gonna look wildly different. I think it would make the community incredibly happy if there is a traditional Shyvana skin. So if you don't just delete it outright, you have this new version. There you go. Major weight off the shoulders. And this just makes me so happy that it even exists, and I can't not give it the spot of the best skin of the whole year. It made me want to go back and play Victor again. Well, there we go. There we have it. That is the best skins of 2025. You both have your own thoughts on what you think were the best skins. If you completely disagree with me, sure, a lot of people are going to disagree with me about Lysandra, but be sure to let me know down in the comments below, or like what other skins you thought were the best. Thank you for watching, fellas, all the annual things. I do love doing this every year. It's kind of a fun thing that we can do at the end of every year. But I do have one more thing that I want to do, which will probably be a stream. Stream might even happen before the videos are out. I have been doing this. What you see here is the icons of every skin that came out this year. I may have listed the top 10, but there was a lot more skins that came out this year. And not just for League, but for TFT, Golden Spatula, for Wild Rift, for good old Tusco. This is gonna be a long stream. So, I'll see you then.